What's going on, everybody? It's J-100, and Shohei Ohtani is a Dodger. I repeat, Shohei Ohtani is a Dodger. Shohei Ohtani signs a 10-year, $700 million contract with the LA Dodgers. The Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes is over. He is going to be the highest guaranteed paid American sports contract in history. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind a tense and suspenseful free agency tour. I don't. But for a guy like Shohei, I could definitely understand why he wanted to have his free agency tour be kind of kept in some secrecy and whatnot. So the big issue that we have going on before he signed today, is that Shohei and his team wanted to have the free agency tour be secret, not have any media leaks. If there were media leaks, then they were going to hold that team accountable for that and make that a factor in their decision in wanting to come to the team. Sports media has been acting like a petulant child because they're not able to generate the clicks and the engagement and the revenue from being able to pick apart anything or any rumor that would have been said during his free agency tour and whatnot. He had teams like the Toronto Blue Jays, which that was the team that everybody was saying that they were thinking that he was going to go to. And oddly enough, they had media leaks come out of this rich guy from Toronto and flying his plane or something like that. I don't know. Was that a factor in why Shohei ended up choosing to go to the Dodgers? I strongly doubt it, but but that was one of the things that came out. The Chicago Cubs was in the running. I personally thought that he was going to go to the San Francisco Giants, but he didn't. He went to the Dodgers. The Red Sox were in there. The Mets were in there as other people that were in the running. So media in sports, the sports media apparatus was not able to get the engagement and the clicks and the ratings and the eyeballs and the views from being able to content farm Shohei doing his free agency tour. For a sport that will punish you by throwing a 90-mile-an-hour fastball at your body if you break any of their unwritten rules and you don't have the class and the sportsmanship that they feel that you should have in any given moment. Tim Anderson or Bautista or Bryce Harper. It's really weird that these baseball writers and these journalists or radio hosts or TV hosts or whatnot, they got so upset for a player handling his record-breaking in the country contract and free agency talks. It's just really weird to me. And to be 100% fair and clear about this, most outlets were not being weird about this. They were respecting Shohei. They were letting him do his thing. Some rumors would come out, some things such as some teams that he was talking to, like when he talked to the Dodgers, they had the manager and the GM make a statement and things such as that. When the Cubs were in the running, the Cubs organization, made some reports that was going out, and I'm sure that was fair. I'm sure that was something that was inbounds for the free agency talks with Shohei and his team. The one that I'm going to show you is something that's ridiculous to me because, especially right at the beginning, you can tell that my guy is not serious. The only problem that I would have had with this, if the free agency talks would have continued on, is this would have been the narrative. And it's disrespectful. And especially considering that Stephen A. already has been in hot water for how he talked about Shohei Ohtani. This is not a good look. Or we're going to play this Chris Russo clip.
Okay, the fact that we're even discussing this is a complete joke. This Ohtani scenario, sweepstakes, do you know when he won the MVP? He wouldn't even tell you what his dog's name was because he had his dog there when he won the American League MVP. Anybody who pays Ohtani $600 million needs their heads examined anyway. He's not going to pitch next year. He's a DH. And tell me this with Ohtani. How many times are the Angels in a pennant race in the middle of September? They won 73 games last year. He missed the last 25 games, cleared out his locker room, did not even tell you what's going on, and left the team. So anybody who goes out there and gives him $600 million needs their freaking head examined. Let's get that going here first. And what is the big secret? Geez, he's a free agent. He's talked to 6 teams. Giants, he was in Dunedin with the Blue Jays. Obviously, Roberts does that. I mean, the Cubs are in the mix. The Angels. Well, what is this, the atomic bomb? We're not allowed to find out. This is baseball. He's a celebrity. This is what it's about. This is stupid. That somehow, some way, if you reveal that you had a breakfast with Ohtani, you should be basically thrown out with the bathwater. I mean, he was good job for Roberts. And I'll tell you, a terrible job by the Dodger general manager, Stevie. This guy surprised by Roberts' decision. How about the general manager? Roberts has won a manager of the year. He's done a great job with the team. How about the general manager have the guts to say, you know what, give my manager credit. He had the right to say what he said. He was asked a question by the media. He didn't lie. And by the way, at the winter meetings, where he's required to talk to the media, they ask him a question, Roberts gives him the right answer, and then the GM throws him out by himself. That's a joke. This Ohtani thing is the biggest waste of time I've ever seen in my life. If you go spend $600 million for this guy, you need your head examined. He has never played a big game in September, and the Angels stink. One player doesn't win.
All right. I've had enough. I don't want to hear anymore. This is the thing that ultimately confounds me about sports media. That guy gets paid a lot of money to behave this way. And I don't know if a lot of people know this or not. And I'm not really knocking the hustle. I'm just trying to present how I talk about sports, or the things that I talk about in sports, a different way. If that's enjoyable to you, awesome. Like this video, subscribe. If you don't like it, at least give me a watch. Put a comment in there. Tell me that you don't like it. Maybe I'll make a video talking about your comment or something like that, right? But they do this thing where they find someone who is comfortable with riling up an audience and then giving him the point that usually doesn't need to be said at all, or as a thought that somebody would have, but like, should probably just leave that one out. And that's the one that they lead with. And so what that allows you to do as the audience, you want to argue with them, you want to call in, you want to make a comment on the page, you want to make your own video. I'm literally doing it right now too. I'm doing it right now. And for this one, I'm doing it because I'm ultimately trying to make a point. And you know, in a way, yeah, I'm guess I'm a little bit of a hypocrite in that aspect too, right? What I am doing is using the ridiculousness of the heel, if you will, of sports media, right? And I'm trying to add just a little bit of reason, and that be the reason why you take a listen to some of my other videos or something like that, right? So responding to this video, first off, it's gross how entitled the media is over information that really doesn't even matter. Like, are you honestly upset, Chris Russo, that you don't know the name of Shohei Ohtani's dog? Is it that important to you? For what? What edge will you have in your job? What will make your sports journalism better? What would make your analysis, what would make your opinion better by knowing Shohei Ohtani, the name of Shohei Ohtani's dog? Like, that doesn't even really make any sense to me at all. When he made mention about anyone paying him $600 million needs to get their head examined. Well, the Dodgers need to get their head examined because they're paying him $700 million. The points that he was making about how he was on a team that sucks, that's on the Los Angeles Angels, not Shohei Ohtani. You got 9 dudes in the lineup. You got a pitching rotation. What is it? The Tungsten O'Toole paradox or whatever, where you have this guy who pitches a really good game, but then you still lose. Isn't that what it is? What is it? The Tungsten O'Doyle. I'm sorry. It's Tungsten O'Doyle. Look at that, live fact checked. So Shohei Ohtani became the first pitcher in AL/NL history to give up no runs and strike out at least 10 or more batters in an opening day game that his team went on to lose. So it had nothing to do with Shohei Ohtani. The Los Angeles Angels sucked. So you want to use a moot point. Then the next thing was about how he's not pitching next year. Okay, doesn't matter if he's not pitching next year. You already got a pretty decent pitching lineup that when he's ready, you're probably going to get rid of your loose ends. He's still a guy that can get you 40 home runs and 20 steals as a DH. Why would I not want to come to a deal and come to a compromise with a generational talent that you're never going to see again for in our lifetime, probably, right? And then the rest of his rant was just high-pitched nonsense and garbage. That guy gets paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to be at the someone told him to do that. So someone needed to do that. So there would be a way to talk about or force or pressure Shohei Ohtani into giving out information or having teams leak information, because now it's a big thing that the audience are going to want. And this point is a ridiculous point to make. It's a ridiculous point to make. It's a terrible hill to stand on, because I think a lot of people misunderstand business and work. And how this actually works. And I understand that, like, in this capitalistic system that we live in, we worship and we give undue authority to those who have money. But ultimately, those people wouldn't have money if it wasn't for the workers. And sometimes when that worker is a generational talent that you're never going to see again, you're going to have to bend to his whim. He could be influential enough to make that work as a collective for the whole league. That's a whole nother conversation for another day, right? The game needs the players and not the other way around. It's not how that works, right? So when the best player just has some standards that they want you to have in order for you to be in consideration for him to choose you in free agency, all you got to do is treat the guy with respect. That's all he's asking for, right? And ultimately, that's what he got. And that's why I'm glad that he was quiet, and then he picked a team pretty quickly, and that it's over. Because if it would have went on any longer, the venom and poison that Chris Russo infected into the vein of the conversation, right? Poisoning the well, that talking point would have spread. Some other place would have picked it up, and it would have gotten stupid. And then it did get stupid while it happened. Now listen, to be honest with you, I don't want to be the guy that's always like, that's racist. That's racist. That's racist. I don't really want to be that guy. We can talk about sports without stuff having to be racist. It's just that you guys do and say the most tone-deaf things because you have no care, or in this case, I do believe Chris Russo knew exactly what he was doing. But for the people that fall into it or agree with it or whatever, it's so tone deaf. This guy has done nothing but respect our country. He's done nothing but respect our fans. He's done nothing but give respect to our game. And because you can't find out what team he went to talk to and what that meeting was about the way you want it, his secrecy in his free agent talks is like the atomic bomb, the bomb that we dropped 2 of them to make them surrender in World War II. What's with the World War II references, Chris Russo? It's gross. It's so gross. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I don't understand. You had all night to prepare and come up with an analogy that you could make for your forced by your bosses or by some GM or by some baseball owner or by some baseball writer that knew that you were going to be on First Take. That's what I think. That's what I really believe things happen. I don't truly believe Chris Russo believed the garbage that came out of his mouth, but he was the one that decided to continue to use World War II references about a Japanese player. There was this article that I read, that I saw, and I'm not going to read it, but we are going to look at it real quick. Mad Dog Russo slammed by people who probably failed history for atomic bomb reference while discussing Shohei Ohtani. Hold the phone, Mad Dog. You can't invoke the Manhattan Project while talking about a guy from Japan. Morons who either failed or slept through high school history might get upset. No, morons who actually paid attention to high school history and deeper history than that are going to get upset. Because even if you're talking about the Manhattan Project and the secrecy of the Manhattan Project, what was the secrecy of the Manhattan Project to do? To drop atomic bombs and murder hundreds of thousands. I'm glad that Shohei Ohtani has picked his team, has got a record-breaking contract, is going to now be able to build, I believe has a team now that's going to be able to build on help him build his legacy and win championships and have Shohei Ohtani be crowned the greatest of all time. I'm glad that he did it so quickly, because if we had to continue with talking about Chris Russo's crude, tone-deaf reference and illogical points about the media being so entitled to find out every little detail of his free agency tour, I probably would have to do some drastic things to myself in harm. So I'm glad that we don't have to do that anymore. Please, in the comments, I guess, roast me, and then I'm going to have to just break those comments apart. But tell me, what do you think? Do you think Chris Russo was being obtuse? How do you feel about Shohei Ohtani being on the Dodgers? What do you think about the hypocrisy of baseball writers and the hypocrisy of, if you break my unwritten rule, I get to throw a fastball at you? Listen, I'm a casual fan that got back into the game. All right. If you want us to stay, please change some of your rules. So tell me what you think. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.